that coming focused? Like, do you have like text conversion, handwriting to text, and it turns into a flip chart? So key performance indicators. And this is really important, and I want to spend a little bit of time on this, because in my experience, as an accountant, I apologize, we've done this. Your financial statements look like this, and then we got one number here. But boy, have we got detail down here. We can tell you how much you spend on your cell phones. We can tell you how much you spend on property taxes. We can tell you how much you spend on a whole bunch of other stuff that nobody really cares about because you see the bill every month, right? And what do we spend all our lives doing? Increasing revenues as fast as possible. So one of the first places I start, and the more sophisticated, you don't need a sophisticated accounting system. For $200 or $300, you can input the level of detail. It's just a matter of coding. A very important key performance indicator is gross profit, which is dollars, by product or service line. And so to establish that, you need to know the revenue, and then you need to know the cost of sales. The cost of sales includes an overhead allocation to establish your true cost. Your overhead, all the non-chargeable stuff here, divided by whatever your unit of activity is. If it's hours billed, if it's units produced, then you just take that, divide that, and stick it in here. But you want as much detail in your revenue and your cost of sales as possible. And if you've got it in there, that's fantastic. You can export it to Excel. You can move it around. In half a day, you can have phenomenal information about your business. Okay? So what you want is that the financial statements, when you're dealing with your external accountant, the financial statements are prepared according to generally accepted accounting principles. I should know that. And they are, the GAAP criteria are exclusively prepared for external users of financial information. So your external financial statements are not going to give you the live information that you need to run your business each month. The more detail you have, including what are your revenue percentages, what's making you money and what isn't, the better. How many measure profitability by customer? How many measure or can track really your job costing? You have a project, okay? So and some of you do quotes, and then you can track against that, and you've got materials in and you've got time in. Okay, excellent. This is where the action is. This doesn't happen on a monthly, quarterly, or annual basis. The revenues happen on a job cost basis. So whatever you're doing in your business, you want to figure, okay, you know the price, and price should never, ever, ever be based on cost. Price should never be based on cost. Price should be based on value to the customer, back to your value proposition. If speed's important, we can do it in a month, fit it in our normal production, and it's $1,200. Or we can do it next week, and it'll be $1,500, or we can do it in 2 days, and it'll be $1,800. When you give your customer options, then you have 3 ways for them to say yes and 1 no. The no is 25%. They've got 75% yeses of options and choices. And they will select the value that they want. So one of the key ways to grow your business and improve your profitability is give your customer options on how to do business with you. And that's a matter of, the more you understand your customers, and it's really easy, just ask them, okay, what's really important about what we do? And if it's speed, great, you can tier the speed. If it's quality, then they can have different levels of quality. They can have all kinds of paper, right? There's all different things. And those are all different parameters you can mix in. And too often we give customers one price and one choice. That's a yes, no, it's 50-50. Whereas if you give them options, you can reduce the odds of that no to half. Measuring customer profitability, I've found there's a lot of truth to the 80-20 theory, 80% of your revenues or profits will come from 20% of your businesses or customers. How many are in the business-to-business market segment? And then how many business to retail? And how many are kind of both? Okay, so it's a really good mix. And even as we drive by Tim Hortons on Albert Street and they're lined up at 7:45 in the morning, that's a business to retail. And you're going to have more regular customers that do that every day. So, but they can't track it. You can track it. When you're business to business, you can track your customers. And when you sit down with your customers, key performance indicator in terms of pricing, cost versus value, and key performance with your customers. Are you proactive versus reactive? Because if you're reactive, because you're too busy, the best business problem to have, and as the economic hotspot of North America, our little village of 1 million people here, a lot of us are in this situation, but then you end up being reactive, you end up being an order taker, and you end up pricing in a rush. When you're proactive, you have time to be at the partner level with them. You're not a vendor. And you're differentiated from all this price competition. Oh, I need business cards, right? So am I going to phone 3 different people for business cards, or am I going to rely on a relationship that I know the quality is there? But if they gave me options for different speed or things like that, they could actually capture some of those different points. So being proactive and then having systems so that you're proactive versus reactive is a huge key performance indicator. And this is part of your business model that we'll get to if we have time. This is a KPI. If you're too busy, well, good, but you're leaving on the table. And which of your customers and activities and products or services are you doing just out of habit that you should be letting go to free up excess capacity? Because excess capacity comes from time, from people, and resources. And the worst thing you can do is actually be doing business that's losing your money that's not strategic. Other key performance indicators. What do you use in your business? Happiness factor. You have ads on the radio about people kiss. Whose happiness? Good. Zlatan's happiness. Excellent. Who else's happiness? Okay. And then who else's?
Actually, can I reverse it? Employees, and then they make happy customers.
Employees make happy customers, and happy customers make happy Zlatan. There you go. Excellent. Yeah. Yeah, all the pieces are connected. And so if you're too busy just focusing, like if you're an owner-manager, or worse, if you're an owner-employee, so that you're head down doing technical stuff instead of overseeing and thinking of systems and things like that, then you're going to miss an opportunity to proactively meet with your customers, your employees, what's our strategy, what's our value proposition, your suppliers. You see our spending patterns and how can we make this process more efficient? How can we make it more cost effective? How, and elevate them up to a business partner because they're sitting on all sorts of information. Okay. Excellent. Key performance indicators you use or look at in your business that you know when you're 6 miles per gallon, this is good, even though it's premium. These are really good notepads. There's like a ton of paper here.